Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about Azure AI Document Intelligence. It's the engine most teams reach to run paper and PDFs into structured data, but a lot of people only know it does OCR, that's optical character recognition, just reading the text of a page. Every business runs on documents, invoices, receipts, applications, forms, contracts, ID cards, and they show up from everywhere: email, an upload fax, or someone walking over to a scanner. And in most companies, a human still reads each one. They retype the numbers into some backend system that's slow, expensive, and once volumes ramps up, that's where the typos creep in. So I want to frame this the right way. This isn't one magic step, it's a pipeline, and document intelligence is one box inside it. So if I step back, the mistake I see is thinking I will just do OCR and I'm done. That's never the real problem. And I think of it like a kitchen line. Before anyone cooks, someone has to receive deliveries, then you sort ingredients, then you prep them so they are usable, and then you plate it. And you do a quality check before it goes out. And document automation is the same shape. It's just with PDF instead of vegetables. So stage one is ingest. I'm just getting documents into a digital place I can work with. Maybe customers upload to a web portal. Maybe invoices arrive as email attachments. Maybe physical mail gets a scan in the mail room. The point is I gather it in one central place so I can operate on it consistently. Now, once I have the documents, stage 2 is classify. I've got to know what this thing is before I try to extract anything useful. Is it a receipt, an invoice, a 1099 tax form, an ID card? Something classification is manual. Someone drops a file into the right folder. Sometimes it's automated, like reading a form code, a barcode, or some text queue using OCR. And then stage 3 is extract. This is the part most people actually care about. I don't want a big text blob. I want vendor name, invoice number, invoice date, total, line items, and as proper fields. This is a stage Azure AI Document Intelligence is built for. And then stage 4 is post-process. That's where my business rules live. I validate what I got back. I match a customer name to a real customer record. I check the invoice number. It's not a duplicate. I clean up formats like dates and currency. Then I send it downstream to a database or another app. And now you might be wondering, once you have done these stages, if extraction is accurate, why do I need a human at all? Because for high stakes outcomes, I don't want an automated final decision. If I'm awarding benefits, approving a loan, paying an insurance claim, the machine can extract, but a person should decide. So the non-negotiable rule is keep a human in the loop where the cost of being wrong is high. So that's the frame. Azure AI Document Intelligence is a prep cook in the middle, fast, consistent, and it hands me structured ingredients, but I still own the rest of the kitchen. Okay, so now I zoom into that extract box. What is Azure AI Document Intelligence in practice? It's a service call. I send it a document. It gives me structured JSON back. I can call it through the REST API or I can use an SDK. The common ones are Python, C#, Java, and JavaScript. So it's not some special toolchain. It's just an API surface plug into whatever I'm building. And now, how do I actually send the file? If it's small enough, I just send the document in the request body like an image or a PDF. And if it's too big, I don't want to shove the whole thing through the request. So I hand it a blob storage URL and I let the service spot it. The key detail is it needs permissions to access that file, otherwise I can't fetch it. What comes back is JSON with a defined schema. I get page layout, so where things are on the page. I get tables or grids if I detected them, and I get individual fields values, so actual typed values my code can read. And every value has a confidence score, so I might get invoice date with something like 97% confidence. That number is the difference between automation and chaos. If the confidence is high, I will often auto-accept it. If it's low, I route it to human review step. And there are two reliability properties I always say out loud because they change how I trust the output. First, it only returns fields it actually detected on the document, so it's not trying to make up missing values. And now it can also still misread things. So I always validate. If I can't find an invoice number, it doesn't invent one. And second, my documents are there, so I can process them. They are not used to train the service for other customers. And the natural question is, why do I care that it's JSON? Can't I just OCR and parse the text? You can, but it gets painful fast because parsing raw OCR means you are guessing, and with structured output, my downstream code doesn't have to infer meaning from position and regex. It can just read this is the invoice number directly. So the mental model is simple: document in, structured JSON out, plus confident on every extracted element, and that's the extraction engine. So now I understand what the call looks like. The next practical problem is which model do I call, because there isn't just one model out there. Here's the decision I make, and it's really one question. Do I just need raw text and structure in this document type, or is it my own custom form? That question routes me to one of three families. The first family is document analysis, and inside that I think about read and layout. Read is OCR. It extracts printed and unwritten text, and at the time of this recording, it supports 300 plus languages and gives me things like bounding boxes, so I know where the text was, and it doesn't hallucinate. It's transcription, not best guess content. Layout goes beyond that. It returns structure, tables, selection marks like checkboxes, paragraph, headings, and can output Markdown, which is actually a big deal when I'm feeding this into a RAG. RAG is Retrieval Augmented Generation, where a model answers questions using your own documents, and Markdown is just easier to split into clean pieces, chunks, that random OCR text. The second family is pre-built models. This is where most teams start because it's zero training. Microsoft has already trained these on lots of examples of common documents. So I just call the pre-built invoice model or receipt, or ID documents like passport or driver license or business cards. There are also whole sets for industries like financial and legal, US tax, US mortgage, and personal identification. With one API call, I get back the name fields it detected plus confidence score. And the third family is custom models. This is when the document is too specific for pre-built. It might be my company's application form or a bespoke requisition. I train the service on my layout, so it extracts exactly the fields I care about. I think of this like buying clothes. Read and layout is like raw fabric. It's useful, but I'm doing the tailoring myself. Pre-built is off the rack. If my document matches the standard sizes, I'm done instantly. And custom is made to measure more work upfront, but it fits exactly my Word form perfectly. So the rule is pretty plain. If I need just text and structure, I use read or layout. If it's common documents type, I try a pre-built first. And if it's bespoke, I go custom. Yes, inputs in practice are PDFs and image files. One more quick thing, there are add-on capabilities too, like high resolution OCR, formula extraction, font and barcode extraction, and key value pairs, but I don't start here. I start with that one decision question because it gets me to the right family fast. So let's say I'm in that third bucket, I need custom. The fear people have is custom means I'm building a machine learning model from scratch. That's not what's happening. I'm mostly teaching the service where my fields live. I think of it like onboarding a new clerk for one specific form. I'm not writing a 200-page manual. I sit them down with a handful of fielding examples and I point. This box is customer name, this one is invoice name, and after a few examples, they can do it and they can tell me how sure they are each time. Now there are two flavors of custom models, neural and template. A custom neural model uses deep learning, so it can handle structured, semi-structured, and unstructured documents, even when the layout varies. That's why it's usually my default starting point. And a custom template model is for fixed, consistent layouts, and it's also what I reach for when I need something Neural doesn't cover, like signature detections or a language that Neural doesn't support. So template is not old and bad, it's specific and straight. Now you might ask, how much training data do I actually need? Both flavors typically need about 5 labeled examples to get going, so that's pretty small. Neural usually gets a lot better with more. At the time I'm recording this, I think of 15 plus as a good target, and I want variety, different scan quality, different values filled in, maybe slightly different print. Also, I make sure at least one sample has every field, otherwise the model never really learns that field. Training time also differs. Template can train fast, second to a couple of minutes. Neural can take maybe longer, sometimes up to around half an hour, depending on what you're training and how busy the service is. It's doing more work behind the scenes. And the studio is literally that clerk onboarding just on screen. It comes down to 3 moves, the same 3 I just described. First, I show the examples, I drop my samples in blob storage, point a studio project at them, and run layout 1 so it can see all the text and where it sits. Second, I name what I care about. I define each field and its type, string, number, date, checkbox, signature, and then I tag it on each sample, literally drawing a box and saying this one is invoice number. That naming is a pointing. Third, I check, I hit train, then run a fresh document through and read the pre-filled confidence to see if actually learn, show, name, check, and that's the whole loop. Now, what happens when I don't have just one custom form? Maybe I have 10 custom forms. That's where compose and classification models show up. A compose model bundles several custom models behind one endpoint. I send the document and it figures out which model to apply, so I can decide this is a 1099, not a 1040, and route automatically. A classification model does routing and splitting without extraction. That's useful if I want to control cost, or I just have a big PDF that is really multiple documents stuck together and I want to split first, then decide what I will extract. So custom is not scary, it's labeling examples, training, and then using composition or classification so the right model gets picked without me hard coding a mess. Now I've got the extraction part working. The next challenge is how do I run this like a system, not like a demo. So I will walk one document through a real Azure flow, a file lands somewhere, maybe a Logic Apps workflow ingests it, triggered by an upload to a portal or an FTP drop. That Logic App writes the file into blob storage, so now it's transferrized and durable. Then Event Grid fires a new file event that even triggers an Azure function, or it could trigger another Logic App, but I will use a function for code. The function looks at the file, maybe it already knows what type it is from the folder, or it runs a classification step. Then it calls Azure AI Document Intelligence with the right model. When Document Intelligence returns a JSON, my code does the post-process steps, validation, enrichment, formatting. Then I store the result somewhere downstream, like Cosmos DB if I want a database that apps query, or a data lake if I'm doing analytics at scale, and then tools like Power BI can report on it. Notice that what just happened, that the same 4-stage pipeline from earlier, ingest into storage, classify and extract with the right model call, post-process in my code, push to downstream systems, it's the same shape, just with real services plugged in. Now, the moment this touches real customer documents, the first question is who can reach it? That's where the platform controls comes in. I log the front door with firewall rules or private endpoints. I decide who's allowed to call what with role-based access control, RBAC. And for the wiring between my own services, I use a managed identity so the function can reach storage and call the service without me ever putting a key in code. When access is handled, the next question is what this costs me at volume, because Now I'm running thousands of pages, not one, and the model is simple. I pay per page. There is a free tier with limits to try it, a standard tier for production, and if I'm running real volume, commitment options that change the effective per page cost. And here's the part I actually like. One extraction is clean, cheap, and locked down. It stops being just data entry, it becomes the front door to everything else. This is very often the first step before Azure OpenAI. I want clean text, clean structure, maybe markdown chunks before I index anything. In fact, a lot of chat with your documents setup starts right here with Document Intelligence doing the extraction and cleanup before anything gets indexed. So even if my end goal is chat with documents, extraction still matters. So that's the production pictures. It's event-driven, it scales, and Document Intelligence is just one box doing what it's good at, turning document into structured output my code can work with. If I zoom out, document automation is a 4-stage pipeline: ingest, classify, extract, and post-process. And I keep a human in the loop when the decision is high stakes. Azure AI Document Intelligence owns the extract stage. I call it over REST API or an SDK, and I get structured JSON back with confidence scores. Then I pick the model family by one question: read/layout for text and structure, pre-built for command docs, custom for my fonts. And I wire it into an event-driven flow. So that's it. As always, I hope this was useful. Till next video, take care.